Rakic, distinguished chairmen, Professor Savulescu, Professor Harris, Lady Dretsun, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, dear guests. It's my great pleasure and honor to address you on behalf of the Ministry of Education, Science and Technological Development of the Republic of Serbia and His Excellency Minister Professor Žarko Obradović. Dear guests, very welcome here in Belgrade, in Serbia, on International Conference Enhancement Cognitive, Moral and Mood. Special values of this conference give the presence of very prominent and participants from many countries from all the world, as well as the presence of prominent Serbian participants in the field of bioethics. All these make us from the Ministry very proud and happy to host such important and exclusive audience. Additional importance of this conference and their results I see as an important contribution for social transformation of Serbia throughout education, research and innovation in our way to EU membership country. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to inform you that at this period our ministry financing 784 national scientific projects with about 12,000 investigators. During the last 2 years, Serbian scientists published near 10,000 papers in the journal on SCI list, with 740 papers per 1 million of inhabitants per year. Serbia is on the level of the developed countries. Dear colleagues, on this conference, during 3 days, you are discussing about one of the most prominent and topic thematic in bioethics, human enhancement. For me, as a biologist and professor of ecology at the University of Belgrade, there are one more very important dimension of bioethics, as of course one branch in ethics, which is the study of good and bad, the study of right and wrong. This dimension is environmental ethics, their standard and their 3 ethical perspectives: anthropocentrism, biocentrism and ecocentrism, and they were recognized by Roderick Nash in his historical book from 1999, The Rights of the Nature. Ladies and gentlemen, at the same ends, I would like to wish you very successful and useful conference and pleasant stay in Belgrade with one message: for the increase and diffusion of knowledge among men. Thank you very much.
I'm going to start with a short general knowledge quiz. And I'm going to answer the questions myself to save time. So what was the cause of the Fukushima nuclear disaster? Answer: earthquake and tsunami. What's the cause of terrorism? Religious fundamentalism. What's the cause of global inequality? Unjust trade sanctions, corruption. What's the cause of climate change? Carbon emissions. In each of these cases, the answer is, in one sense, right, but all of those answers are only the symptoms of the underlying disease, and the underlying disease is human moral choice and behaviour. Even in the case of the Fukushima nuclear disaster, the choice to build a nuclear reactor in that place with that level of protection was a human choice. So for the first time this century, our fate will be decided not by external events, but by the moral choices that we make. And our morality is extremely limited, as I'll go on to argue. And the most important project in the world today is understanding human moral limitation and the ways of overcoming or enhancing that. So you are present at the most important conference there could be in the world today, because science will advance and tell us how to cure cancer or delay ageing. It will give us many options, but we need ethics to decide which of those options to take, and most importantly, to decide how to make better moral decisions. So thank you, Voyan, for giving us the opportunity to have such an illustrious panel and the opportunity to discuss the most important question in the world today.
Thank you so much for coming today. It's a great privilege for us from the Center for the Promotion of Science, which is a public state body in charge for promotion of science and for bringing it closer to the public. And I would just add something on the top of what we have just heard. Fukushima was mentioned, a nuclear disaster. And I would like to share with you just a few lines from the book that I recently reread while looking for the book to publish it in Serbia and to translate it. That's the well-known The Pleasure of Finding Things Out by the Nobel Prize winner, the physicist Richard Feynman. In 1964, he says, "Science creates a power through its knowledge, a power to do things. You are able to do things after you know something scientifically. But the science does not give instructions with this power as to how to do good against how to do evil. I believe that the next science to find itself in moral difficulties with its applications is biology. And if the problems of physics relative to science seem difficult, the problems of the development of biological knowledge will be fantastic. Suppose that we were to discover the psychological basis of happiness or other feelings, such as the feeling of ambition. And suppose that we could then control whether somebody feels ambitious or does not feel ambitious. And finally, there is death. It is not at all inevitable, and that it is only a matter of time before the biologists discover what it is that is causing us the trouble, and that terrible universal disease of the human's body will be cured. Anyhow, you can see that there will be problems of a fantastic magnitude coming from biology." So that was 1964, and we are really honored that we have such distinguished speakers here in Belgrade, and there is huge interest in our public to learn more about these questions. And I will just end with one figure. We did a survey of public opinion related to science on a representative sample for Serbia, and we found out that 85% of people feel certain anxiety towards science. Fear was also mentioned with focus groups. They somehow think that scientists have come to a knowledge that might be dangerous in a way. And the biggest fear, when we went deeper in discussion with people, was related to genetics, to genetical modification, and to the pharmaceutical industry. So there are many topics that are interested for people in Serbia, that are interested for giants, that have inspired many of us to start this interesting and challenging journey in bringing science closer to the society. And we hope to start looking at these problems. And I want to invite you all to the public debate that will be held tomorrow in organization with distinguished guests that we have here at Robna Kuća Nama. And that discussion will be on purpose organized for public. And that's the place where we can ask questions that are not only scientifically tackled and understood, where we can all look at some questions and possibly some answers that even the giant like Mr. Richard Feynman has raised many, many years ago. Thank you so much, everyone, the organizers, the panelists, and special thanks goes to Mr. Bojan Rakic, with whom this event wouldn't be possible. We know that for more than a year now, he's been putting a lot of efforts to bring you all here and to provide Serbian public, also not only the scientists, with this special privilege to learn more about the future of the mankind. Thank you all again.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vasil Sredanovic, and let me say to you a few words in front of CryoSafe, European largest and leading stem cell bank. CryoSafe is storing over 240,000 samples from umbilical cord, blood, and umbilical cord from over 40 countries from 4 continents. Umbilical stem cells are adult stem cells. It means that they are ethically unproblematic. CryoSafe is present in Serbia since 2006. very important part of our activities in Serbia are social responsibility projects. Sorry. One of these projects is a cost-free donation program, which allows to families with illnesses treatable with stem cells to store these umbilical cord blood of their new babies for free. More than 50 families from Serbia are already in that program. Today it's possible from stem cell to make a new trachea, ear, nose, heart valves. Rapid development creates new problems, such as legislation of cellular therapy, which requires to work in parallel with development of medical advances. This field remains open for intertwining of sciences, medicine, philosophy, law. But it certainly cannot be longer avoided, and the fact that this type of therapy is not only improving the quality of life, but to the individuals who are terminally ill, allows not only more but also quality of lifetime. Because of this, we need to quickly prepare for these changes on all levels and facilitate progress in this new century where apparently no longer exist sciences that are strictly separated. It is only important to scientifically and mentally adapt as soon as possible. Because of that, we think that is our obligation to be part of this conference and also sponsor of this conference. Thank you, Professor Rakic, and I wish you also a successful conference and pleasant stay in Belgrade. Thank you.